your host, TJ.
And I'm Dan.
And I'm Matt.
And it's our first episode, and today we're talking about just how we know each other and our background histories and stuff like that.
Yeah, we also need to cover what this show's actually going to be. So this is, like TJ said there, this is the WAQ Show. It stands for We Aren't Qualified, and we're going to be a variety podcast that kind of talks about whatever flavor of the week we decide to have a chat about. But we promise you, we aren't qualified to have professional opinions about it. If we are, there will be a big disclaimer. So just take that to heart.
And that's when we are. And that's when we are qualified. Which is a nice little transition with the A.
Don't worry, that won't happen often.
Yeah, if ever.
Nope. So, how long have you guys known each other? And
It's been like
meet and all
4
that fun
years
stuff.
now? Longer?
Let's see. I knew you through
Joe.
Joe for most of freshman year of college, all the way through till now. That was like four to 5 years ago, somewhere in that ballpark.
cool.
But I met Matt here through one of our mutual friends. His name's Joe. We were together on a group project. It was like a weird generic class, and we did a project on like resistance to antibiotics and how that can cause like diseases to become worse, or some weird random project. It was for GEs, okay? But yeah, I found out Joe liked D&D, tabletop role-playing stuff, and he invited me over to Matt's game night over at their place, and we kind of just started hanging out and doing a bunch of stuff together, and now here in the next couple months, Matt's gonna come out and be a roommate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't know that. Any thoughts of that story from you, Matt?
That's pretty much how it went. Dan was one of the better like random includes to game night. Game night is a thing I'll talk about often. It happens like bi-weekly. Either in person or online. Currently online for obvious reasons. But yeah, Dan's great. His brother's great.
That's kind of how I met you too, through the game nights.
Yep.
Thing.
It's an excellent way to get like-minded people.
I want to say I met you. It's only been about a year.
Yeah,
If that.
and we haven't
Which is
hung out
cool.
enough.
No, we haven't. That's because always busy. It's hard with the 3 time zones.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Got East Coast,
Well, I mean that, and like
Pacific Coast.
lately, you're like a phantom, TJ. Like you've disappeared and come back so many times. It's crazy. You know, if you weren't such a great guy, who knows what would have happened by now.
I know, which is funny that you say that, because I was thinking about that and like our history together, because there are big spans of time where we don't talk to each other, and then when we do, it's like we haven't not talked to each other though. Like we pick up like it's not a big deal at all.
Yeah, it's like
which I like.
We've been hanging out the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
It's like quick.
I think part of that is just both of our generally mellow attitudes, kind of thing. Because you're I don't know if I've ever actually seen you like legitimately angry. That's so.
Yeah. It's hard to get me that bad. I have my little moments in games, but those really aren't that bad. We've had our fights though.
Yeah,
We've had a couple fights.
No, we've had some struggles, but I mean, what good friendship hasn't, right, Matt?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dan and I have known each other for almost a decade now.
Jesus.
Believe it or not, yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it. Like it feels like it just not that long at all. I don't know, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. Because I met Dan through League of Legends group,
Which I haven't played
So I
for
had,
years.
and I forget, did I introduced you to Flippy and them, didn't I?
I think so.
'Cause
Holy
I had
crap.
that group.
I think
So-
I met you
so-
through like Brandon and John Michael, I think.
Yeah. So I was with a group. Flippy was a different group. And I met you through the one group because I met Victor, which was friends with John and Brandon and I think Ty and all them. And then I met you through that group.
Yeah.
And then I started hanging out with you more and John. And that's about it. And Brandon. Basically that league group.
And then you went off and got a real job and got married and disappeared off the face of the earth.
Partially. Oh, it stinks because I like to be. I want to be on more than what I am, but it's hard with my schedule, always changing.
Yeah.
And you guys being 3 hours behind at the time made it hard.
Yeah.
Because you guys were always on when it was like 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. my time.
Dude, I struggle with a 1 hour time difference. The amount of times I have to ask Matt, hey, when does game night start again?
Yeah, but game night was always a 6 p.m. event, and when Dan moved, I moved it so that it starts at 5 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. his time. Just last week, he was like, I told him, I was like, Dan, it's 6 p.m. Don't worry about it. It's just 6 p.m. And he's like, yeah, but it moved. And I'm like, yeah, Dan, when you moved, it moved. It's always been 6 p.m. for you. And he was like, oh, shit. You're right.
You controlled the platform, Dan. Didn't even know it.
Well, just got that personality.
But yeah, through all that, we've had our mostly ups, a little bit of downs.
Yeah, I don't know. TJ, you're always the guy where, like, if I have some kind of idea or plan or something, you're the guy that I'm always like, man, I wish TJ was around so I could talk to him about this, because you're never the guy to say, no, that won't work, stop. Like, you're always like, wow, that's really interesting. Like, how could that ever work, kind of thing. Like, you entertain the thought at least. Whereas, I value Matt's opinion for another reason. If he thinks it's dumb and stupid and you shouldn't do it, he will say exactly that.
It's true.
I still have all the files for Zombie Life.
I think I still have the handwritten notes I took.
I still, I show that off to people. I'm like, this is a great idea I have that I still want to happen.
Oh, man.
Not to tangent on it, but just so Matt knows, Zombie Life is a game that Dan and I started to develop the story for and stuff like that. Which is a zombie-based game.
Those fucking I want to make a game dreams are the loftiest of dreams. There's so much that goes into that shit.
Yeah. And it was the whole, me disappearing. We each were disappearing at different points.
Yeah, that was like during my military stint. So that was.
Yeah.
I guess we should talk about like ourselves a little bit for some background too, because we've talked about how we know each other, but we haven't talked about us. So I guess I'll go first since I brought that up. Yeah. So I have a bachelor's degree in communication. I currently live in Utah, and I did a little over 4 years in the Army as an intelligence analyst. I, like everybody else here, am a massive game nerd. I've got a lot of time into tabletop games, particularly Pathfinder as well. I do some streaming. I currently do virtual assistant work, things like that. And recently getting into podcasting, as you can see. Why don't you tell us about yourself, Matt?
Kind of similar to Dan in a completely different way. I grew up as a military brat, moved all over the place. Kind of never really kept many friends up until like settled down, and then I kind of blossomed into the internet and became just a big old fucking weeb. I love anime and video games, and I had a small stint with tabletop stuff in high school, and then kind of petered off until it re-exploded in college through Dan. And I host a bi-weekly game night and keep all my friends together, hopefully. That's basically it. I just love reading, nerd stuff. Yeah, that's basically me. Like anime and nerd stuff, that's me. Hello.
Dan
It can be a bit abrasive.
Oh, fun fact for people listening, we're recording through Discord and then creating it later.
Yeah, so if you hear an explosion of cacophonous laughter, that means somebody shared something funny in the text chat.
Exactly.
TJ?
Cool. I didn't know you were a military brat, Matt.
Yep.
I am also a military brat.
I lived on the East Coast until 14.
We're at
North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, a little while in Wisconsin. I actually lived in Hawaii for a hot second.
So, I was born in Italy, and then I was in Norfolk.
Whoa.
And then Maine. And then after my dad retired, we came to the Midwest, which Ohio, Indiana, all that.
When I was 4, we visited my dad in Japan. Sometimes I wonder if I didn't see something there that started this whole fucking thing.
Probably. That's cool, though. But I get you with the not having many friends and stuff.
I always had like 3.
I was good until the retirement. Because at least when you're moving around other military families, they get it. But
I never went to a military school.
not school, but like I still had like it was smaller towns, I guess.
Okay.
So the military kids were still like we had like our little pack that we created.
I was never part of the military pack.
Like
I was just
feral
like
herd.
Yeah, I was just always the new
much.
kid, and I tried to be funny.
No, once the retirement, I was like the only kid that was like that, so it was weird. But a little bit about me, so I'm a military brat. I'm a photographer, but I'm moving more myself into just calling myself a creative, which I got to explain to Dan a little bit earlier. Is I'm a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Sorry, it's really
Go ahead.
weird when you see it the first time in text is like, I am a creative who blah, 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 blah. I'm like, is that a noun? Do people use that as a noun now? Like, it really
Yeah.
like threw me off.
So for those who don't know, is a little bit of everything in the sense of like audio, using video, photography, all the social media stuff, design, do a little bit of everything. So yeah, I'm also a drummer, so I'm involved in the music end of it as well.
Dude, sweet.
Yeah, all that fun stuff. That's me. I like everything. Like Dan said earlier, it's hard to make me mad at stuff, so that's part of one of my problems, I feel like. And Brittany makes fun of me for it all the time, is like, I love characters and stories and stuff like that, and I love everything. So then it gets repetitive. I'm like, I love this guy. I love this character. I love him for different reasons. But then it turns out I just love everything.
See, I feel like TJ is one of those people that wouldn't have a problem with ARR in Final Fantasy 14.
Dude, get in it.
What is it?
Final Fantasy
It's a
14
fucking MMO.
And the whole
Yeah.
the whole first bracket of this game, this is a little off-topic tangent, but the whole first bracket of the game from level 1 to 50 and 100 quests after 50 is just this painful shit slog. And it's so slow, and all of the quests are run here, talk to this person, run there, talk to that person. It's fucking awful, but it's because they're trying to like tell this story and remake the image of the game. So if you're like super into stories and stuff, then you know
Yeah, I'd like that.
you can kind of justify it. I don't know, but after that, the game's great. Love it.
So someone, not only do I like that, but like you guys playing with me then and not liking that, I'd be like, guys, wait, I need to read through all this.
Oh, John's the same way. Like John,
Yeah.
John will be like, yeah, it wasn't great, but I read through it all. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm just waiting. Every cutscene, I'm just like, can I skip this? Are they gonna start talking about some inane shit?
I feel like our show is going to have a lot of tangents that could correlate to video games and anime, though.
Oh yeah, totally.
So that's just a staple of the show. I forgot what I was going to say now. That had to do with that.
Whoa.
I do. I love storytelling and just stories in general. I have so many books to read, which I'm excited
Dude,
for.
same.
Nerd alert.
I think
Go
I
ahead.
think that's what got me. That's just what that is the thread, the common thread among all my interests is I love a good, well-told story, which is why I am so annoyed when a story is
no.
not told well.
What?
Guys, I just realized for this episode, I'm the whack one. You two
are.
like reading. I fucking hate reading. Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm whack.
I give him so much shit for it.
He has tried so hard to get me to read numerous things. Matt has
I
literally
only-
given me books to read.
Yep.
You just have to find that style you like, and once you do,
I did.
you-
There are exactly two, no more than two book series that I have enjoyed reading and actually went out of my way to read. One of them was arguably because of circumstance. So there is a man, I remember the second book, which is actually a prequel. Oh,
Alter World.
yeah, that was the second one. But there's a book series. The first one is Graceling, and the second one is called Bitter Blue. Which it's it's kind of embarrassing, but it's basically like teen female novel writing.
Yeah.
But it's like a cool fantasy story. I don't know.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
She murderates people and stuff. It's cool. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting fantasy premise. I liked it a lot, and I was younger at the time. And then the other book series, like Matt had said, I still haven't read the last one, actually. Need to buy it. But it's a story called Alter World. It's actually by a Russian writer, translated, so there's some repetitive phrasing.
That inner greedy pig.
But it's, I don't know, it's basically kind of the isekai person trapped in a game kind of concept, but there's some
that's cool.
There's some different takes on it though that you don't see in like the anime adaptations or the manga writings of it. It's, I don't know, I thought it was interesting. It's basically like, these are the things a Russian would think about when writing this kind of story, instead of constantly seeing what like a Japanese person would think about when writing that story, which is what you always
American.
get. Yeah, or American. I
did read
an American one.
I read the first book and a half. It's not terrible, and I don't like isekai, so.
Honestly, I feel like American and Japanese versions of being stuck in a video game are pretty similar. Like, it's along the same lines of thought.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe
I'm trying to think
like
of an American one.
Ender's Game is kind of like vaguely like that, but yeah, I can't really think.
There's also this gamer.
What's that one movie that just came out recently?
Are you talking about the Ryan
Ready
Reynolds
Player
one?
One.
No, Ready Player One.
Oh, that's based on an old book, dude. But yeah, I guess that was that written by an American author? I don't know.
But he's not stuck.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's not stuck. That's true.
Oh,
That's more about like the dichotomy of in and out of the game. Dude, but that Ryan Reynolds movie that's supposed to
It looks dope.
It's basically a dude in
the
GTA.
movie.
Oh my god, I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, that looks awesome. On the books though, there's a series. It's like a teen fantasy. It's called Ranger's Apprentice. I really like that, and that's what I'm reading through
I
right
think
now.
Kyle was reading that. That or my buddy Hagen from my old workplace.
It's really, really good.
I
recommend trying that one.
I'm reading the first Law series by Joe Abercrombie. It's fucking great. It's great if you like. You gotta like the Game of Thrones thing, but it's better than Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Yeah,
take.
I don't think it is a hot take, to be honest. Anybody I've heard talk about these books that knows anything about Game of Thrones is like, yeah, that's better.
Well, yeah, Game of Thrones isn't even finished yet, right?
The books aren't.
Yeah, the books aren't, if they'll ever be. The collection of books I'm getting right now is the Tom Clancy books, so I want to read through them all. I really like Tom Clancy's work.
But I've never
actually read his books either, so I'm taking no risk. I've also I have about 50 of them. No, I have like 30 or 40 of them, and I got them all for like $20 or less.
Shit, that's awesome.
Goodwills and estate sales and stuff. Great place to find books.
I don't think I actually have any like military fantasy, unless you count Ender's Game.
Well, a little bit.
Most of mine is like fantasy, a couple sci-fi.
Nice. Any other thoughts that you guys have about that you want to talk about for the intro, or things to know about us?
I forgot to mention I'm a librarian, or I'm an aspiring librarian.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got my degree in design, but I hate design. Well, I don't hate it. I don't want to do work in it.
So Matt would like my restaurant idea, which I'll tell you about off the show.
Okay.
Can't have someone stealing it.
I'm gonna get a grad degree in it's called Library and Information Sciences.
That's cool.
Yeah, I really like helping people find shit that they like. why I like to know what my friends are into, so I can be like, all right, you're into this, watch this, 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 and this. You're into this, read this and that.
Or else he will
Nice.
find you.
Or else I will find you and berate you for not liking to read.
Any other final thoughts from you guys?
No, I think that's us and the WAQ Show. I feel like we encompassed a good point of we're not going to be afraid of tangents here, so just kind of roll with it.
Yeah, TJ's whole backstory turned into a tangent.
It's all right with me. Thank you for listening to the WAQ Show, and a special thanks to those listening to our first episode ever. We look forward to recording more episodes for you. I'm your host, TJ.
And I'm Dan.
I'm Matt.
And that's the WAQ Show. Bye.